Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to our session. We are super excited to be here today to talk about prototyping tools for learning experience. My name is Matilda Dan, and I work as a UX designer for Salesforce. I am working currently developing features for financial accounting.
Hi, my name is Jorge Castro, UX lead at Salesforce. Currently working on the design ops teams, and both are based in Granada. Before to start, I want to advise, please don't let my shoes distract you. Sorry for it. So just a bit about Salesforce. Salesforce is the #1 ERP cloud on Salesforce. Our products include solutions for revenue management, project management, accounting, subscription billing, and etc. Today we are more than 700 employees across 7 offices around the world.
Just a reminder that you should base your purchase decision only in the products and services that are currently commercially available. To begin with, we are going to make a quick overview of the prototypes in the context of the product design process. This process goes through the following stages.
Okay, so the first stage on the design process is just to summarize, clarify, define what we want to achieve and why.
The second stage begins with the user research to know our users and figure out how to achieve the company's goals. User research is basically gathering data using different user research methods like the one you can see here.
On the next phase, we need to collect all the data from the research and analyze it in order to build the requirement. With those requirements, we can start creating the user flows, the mock-ups and prototypes to test our assumptions.
Prototypes also help us to transform ideas into reality and also share those ideas with people to gather feedback. Nowadays, an infinite amount of physical products like cars, buildings, or planes are developed based on a prototype. Additionally, web pages and software applications are developed after a prototype.
Okay, so with those pictures, we want to represent products where the test and prototype was not done. For sure, those products will fail on the market, for sure.
And when we have made our prototype, the next stage is testing it to discover problems in the product design. So testing, we will discover the problems and we will know why those problems occur and also how can we fix them. Based on the testing result, we iterate on our prototype to refine the solution we offer to our customers.
Okay, so the latest phase. After refining our products, it's time to develop and release our products. So let's go with the fun part of the session. We are going to demo 2 different prototyping tools for learning experience. One of them is Abony Creator. Abony Creator is more focused for designer. And the other one is the Design System Starter Kit, more focused for developers. So we are going to start with the Abony Creator.
Okay, Jorge.
Mati?
I have to say, Abony Creator, they have a stand here, so we recommend you to visit them if you want to know more about them and their products and that. Abony Creator is an online tool which can be used to create Lightning pages, Lightning components, interactive flows, Lightning experience apps, community portal, or standalone apps. Using Abony Creator is easy as pie. You may need some knowledge about layout, grids, or some HTML, but if you don't know, you can just learn on the go. Let's create, as an example, a Lightning experience application to explore more deeply Abony Creator. The interface of Abony Creator is very similar to the app builder interface. We can see at the top of the screen we have different tabs to change between the modes. And in the editor mode where we are now, we have the Elements toolbar and Navigator on the left, and on the right we have the Properties pane. Let's look at a header as an example. You will look for it in the Elements toolbar and simply drag and drop it into the canvas. We can see how the Properties pane changes accordingly to the component we have selected, and all the changes we can adjust in the Properties pane, we see them in real time in the canvas. And repeating this process of looking for the element, drag and drop, and adjust properties, we can compose our prototype. It's as simple as that. Let's see an example more slowly. In this case, we have used, in the top of the canvas, we have two boxes that take all the screen width. So for this, at this case, we haven't used any layout, but for the content below, we have used a grid to create a two-column layout. If we select the grid, and we can adjust the grid, the size of the column, just with this slider, and we can see in real time what we are doing. Let's try an example with a table inside of the Outstanding tab. We are going to contain this table in a div because we want to apply the div. We want to apply padding to the table. So we drag and drop the table inside the container, adjust the number of columns, number of rows, and selecting the div from the navigator, we can apply the padding. So we will see the column fits better into the tabs. And now we just customize the rest of the elements. In this case, we have begun with the labels of the headers, sorry. And we are going to continue adding the content. For the first column, we are going to use links. We look for them in the Elements toolbar and repeat the process again. Drag and drop it into their places. And we are going to change the behavior of the table by enabling highlight it when row hovering. And we are going to add borders also. For the next three columns, we are going to use body text. And in this case, we just drag and drop, but for not to repeat so many times the drag and drop process, we are going to create one and just duplicate and put it inside of the cells. And for the last column, what we are going to do is add a right align, but for that we need to use also a container to apply the right align property. So we drag and drop the divs and apply the right align property to them. And after that, we look for the page and simply drag and drop it inside the cell. Let's change some properties of the badge, like the label, also the color scheme, and finally, we are going to change the background color. When we have finished our page, we just have to copy and duplicate again and drag and drop into the place we want it to be. So this will be the workflow we need to follow to create a prototype or any component using Avoni Creator. First, to create the layout, then select, if necessary, the parent elements to put the children element inside and customize them. We can have a preview of our prototype anytime by clicking on the tabs on the top of the screen, the preview tab. In this mode, we can see how everything is working, and the components we have used, they have all the SLDS behavior. And also there's another mode very useful when working collaboratively, and that's the conversation mode. We can access it also from the top of the screen using the conversation tab, and we can leave comments on a specific component. For example, only selecting it, and we see in the properties pane that we have the option to leave a comment that will be seen for our collaborators. A notification also appears in the component we have leave the comment. Let's see how we can create new pages inside of our Lightning application app, Lightning Experience app, sorry, to create another pages to link. We click in the pages and create new page. And Avoni Creator offers different templates depending on the type of page, and also preset layouts for the content. In this case, we have selected a account page and just type the name we want to put, disable because we don't want to create a new tab for this. And once we have created this page, we can see how it appears in the navigator of the project. Now we are going to link the page we have just created in our application. We select the button or link we want to take us to that page, and clicking on the Lightning icon allows us to see the different options we have. We can link the pages inside Avoni Creator or external URLs. Also, we can create models from the lightning icon. And using the sharing option, we can invite people to collaborate with us in our prototype, or we can use the public link to send to our customer just to have a preview or to test the prototype. Because the link can be opened from anywhere, and simply using a screen sharing and recording software, we can begin our test and have the feedback. Also, in the public link we send, everything is working, and the links we have created to another pages are also working. Everything has the SLDS behavior, and that's all. And to finish with Avoni Creator, we are going to show the code that Avoni Creator generates. Avoni Creator generates a code that can be used as a touchpoint between designers and developers. To access this code, we click on the page we want to review, and in the properties pane, we see an information icon, and from clicking on that icon, we can open the pop-up, which will show us the code. We can copy this code to send to developers, and we have, this will be the workflow. This is all about Avoni Creator.
Okay, cool. So next one is the Design System Starter Kit. What is Design System Starter Kit? It's a quick prototyping environment that uses Lightning Design System that includes some HTML and SAS files. With the Starter Kit, you will be able to create prototypes using Design System as a source. You will be able also to add complexity, including third-party libraries, and also share your prototypes using Heroku. How easy is to use? It depends the complexity you want to do. So if you want to build a simple prototype, it's really easy, just a few knowledge on HTML. But obviously, if you want to build something really complex, you will need more JavaScript and HTML skills. Okay, so the installation is really straightforward. You will need some prerequisites, but only the installation is a kind of 5 instruction. Really easy to do, and when you finish, you will have a development server in your local machine working. One is running, this page will be shown automatically, and it's really useful, some things that you can find here, like some tutorials and examples. I would recommend to follow this tutorial because it's really good. Okay, after the installation, we will have this folder structure. At that point, the most important one is the views folder. You can find some templates and an example there. Okay, so let's go with the prototype I built. Before starting, we were thinking how to do on this demo. And what I did is say to Matti, okay, let's create whatever you want on Avoni Creator, and I will do exactly the same with the starter kit to know if it's possible or not. So starting with this blank HTML, as you can see, is quite simple. When you render it on the browser, this is what you have. So you have for free the header. What I'm going to do now is to show how easy it is to add elements on my prototype. We are going to add a header, for instance, and let me show you a video where you can see. So the first thing you need to do is to go to the Lightning Design System web page, find the element that you want to add, copy the code. You need to go to your editor, paste it, save, here. That's all. You don't need to take care about colors, fonts, images. Everything came from the Lightning Design System, so it's there. Okay, so let's take a look on the prototype that Matti did to know exactly the layout that we want to build. We can differentiate 3 areas, one for the graphs, other for tabs and the data table, and more the tabs, collapsible panel, and more elements. So let's start with the first container for the graphs. Exactly the same. I'm going to repeat these steps several times during the demo. Go to the Lightning Design System, take the code, copy, paste. That is done. The next container, exactly the same. Just go to the line design system, look at the layout that you want to build, copy, paste, save, done. Okay, so now I have my basic layout, and the next step is to add the charts. And now I found the first problem. Line design system doesn't allow or doesn't have charts at the moment. So what I did is to use a third-party library, charts.js, and as you can see, it's really easy to do. So I download the library, add it to my scripts folder, and also a JS that is going to load and initiate my charts. And this is the code on my web page. So the first 3 blocks are the charts, and the latest one is the instruction to load my script. And this is how looks now my prototype. So as you can see, now I have 3 fancy graphs working properly. Okay, so let's go a bit faster. Let's go to add more component, exactly the same steps. Go into the design system, copy the code, and paste. Now I have tabs, now I have a collapsible, and this, and my data table. Okay, so let's stop a bit on the data table. Now I want to customize my data table, starting with the text on the header. So let's change some text. I'm going also to reduce the number of the column, and I'm going to leave just one data row. And the reason is because in Matty's prototypes, it had 10 lines. If I want to have that one, I will need to copy and paste 10 times. So at the end, I will have a really long HTML. The good thing is the starter kit allows to load data from a JSON file. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, so I need to create my JSON file on the data folder. The name has to be exactly the same than my page. This is the code of my JSON file. Here is the data I want to load. And here you have highlighted the code that I need to add into my web page in order to take this data. As you can see, it's quite simple, just a few instructions. And when I render it, I have all my prototype working properly. The graphs are working, the navigation between tabs, rollover, links, all my data. So everything is working properly. So now I have my prototype ready to use, but remember, it's in a local machine. So the next step is, if I want to share with customer that is not in the same location, I need to share it at some point. So you need to complete 2 different more steps, really, really easy. You need to commit your project into GitHub and then deploy it. Really easy. A few of clicks and it's done. And then you will have your prototype in Heroku perfectly working. So that's all on the starter kit. Here you can find all the resources that we are using, the tutorials. Actually, you have the repository if you want to download the samples and play with it, so that's fine. So that is.
Okay, if you want to know more about the starter kit, we recommend you to do this module of Trailhead because they explain a lot more about starter kit. And also, if you want to know more about Avoni Creator, we remind you that they have a stand right here, so we recommend to visit them also. And that's all.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you have any question, we will be around here.
Yes.
So feel free to ask.
Thank you.
Thank you.